Hi, I'm Mike Macedonio, Executive Director with BNI, and I'm here with Sheena Kawakami. And let me tell you, this woman is a superstar. She's a 3-year member. She represents the Special Olympics. She's a program developer with the organization. So glad that you would come and join us today. I have to ask you the first question. Would you mind sharing with us the mission and the purpose of the Special Olympics?
Absolutely. And I'm actually, hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks so much, Mike. I'm actually going to read verbatim kind of our mission statement, and then I can dive into that a little bit more. But the mission of Special Olympics Northern California is to create an inclusive community where people with and without disabilities can make connections, develop healthy lifestyles, achieve success, and experience the joy of sports. So basically, in a nutshell, we bring together individuals with and without disabilities in an inclusive environment through the power of sport. That's kind of what we're all about.
Oh, excellent, excellent. I might need to ask you a little later how you got involved in this, but for now,
Sure.
tell me when you first got involved in BNI, and Sheena, that was 3 years ago. You've been
Mhm.
involved in BNI for 3 years, and by the way, a quite impressive performance. Sheena has not missed a meeting without a sub all year, and she's passed over 38 referrals, so she's obviously very involved with BNI. But when you first got involved, what were your expectations? What were you hoping that BNI could do and help your organization?
I think that my path was not normal. Basically, I had when I joined BNI, and I'm going to give a shout out to Chantal Reese, who is my sponsor. But when I first joined BNI, I had a different career path. I needed to make a drastic career change after retail being in retail for so long and really needed to figure out how to get networking. I'd never been in the position to ever need networking experience. So I had met Chantal and she kind of invited me and really I saw the value in what those members could teach me about networking. During that time frame, I actually heard about this job opening at Special Olympics, and it really was my dream job. So I know we'll get a little bit maybe into it later, but I'd been a volunteer since 2015 for Special Olympics, and always kind of, hey, let me keep an ear open if anything ever happens to open up that I might be able to contribute to that organization. So when I decided to make the career change, I really had to do some diving in and figure out, can a nonprofit be successful in BNI and not just successful as a nonprofit, but just to ensure that I would still be able to give back and gain and kind of continue with that giver's gain mentality. So I had listened to the podcast and watched the webinar that was available for nonprofits in BNI and really thought, I can make this work. And so after speaking like with the leadership team, we decided, you know what, let's go ahead, let's continue with the membership and see what happens. And I feel like I've been a better contributor as a nonprofit than my path with which I first became involved. So like just kind of hugely successful. One of the things I'm very happy about or very proud of is I've actually given more thank you for closed business than I've received, which I again like so important for me to again to be able to contribute back to my members and BNI as a whole.
Yes, absolutely. I think sometimes people are confused or just don't know, how can we help and how can we support an organization like Special Olympics? What are some of the things that you feel that the members inside of BNI could do to get behind the Special Olympics and support you?
First and foremost, it's just getting the word out of our mission. We get confused a lot with other organizations. Paralympics is the first one that comes to mind. So it's kind of just really getting our mission and our mission statement out there. That could happen in, coming to an event, just as an attendee. It could be through volunteering. We're heavily based on the success for our organization with volunteer efforts. It could be maybe you know of someone that is philanthropic and would be interested in becoming a sponsor or supporting monetarily. Um, there's so many benefits and even down to like the events team for We Inspire specifically, they always promote whatever events that I have going on. So it's been it's been very successful, I feel like, for Special Olympics to be part of BNI.
Yeah. Being part of a couple of nonprofits and being on the board of directors, I find it interesting how people want to help, but sometimes they get stuck. They don't know how. And like you mentioned, volunteering is huge in a nonprofit. But sometimes, people may not have the funds to necessarily be donating money. Uh, what we've done in the past too is just offer, here are some suggestions of things we need around the rescue that we support. Paper towels, rubber gloves. And people, oh, I got
100%.
those. And they're showing up with it. So, the more we can allow people to see how they contribute, and I like to look at it as time, talent, and treasure. If you got any of above of those, come on board and let us support the cause. So with your time with the Special Olympics and in your time in BNI, are there any success stories or any things that really helped someone or helped you?
So many. I'm going to highlight a few. First and foremost, through a connection of a We Inspire member, um, I secured actually a very significant sponsor for one of the events that I put on. So it's a golf tournament that I actually help organize. So very significant sponsorship opportunity from a We Inspire member, and it's basically she connected me through someone that she met playing pickleball, and kind of made that introduction, had a one-to-one, and has been a great partnership, and they actually continue to partner with us, which is amazing. There are things like Contra Costa Fitness, who is also a BNI member in We Inspire. They have hosted in-person classes for our athletes, as well as some online classes for our athletes. So really kind of um, being really involved with Special Olympics, where athletes actually came into their gym, and they did separate free classes for some of the athletes that were able to participate. Live Chiropractic actually hosts several in-house events that we benefit from monetarily, as a donate to Special Olympics portion for their give back to the community efforts. Oliver Brown at Dedham Real Estate recently just did a poker tournament for his customer appreciation day, donated some proceeds to us. So there's all kinds of, so many success stories. I mean, members do referral bonuses that benefit us. So, like if a We Inspire or a BNI member refers somebody and they get that sale, they'll actually do a kickback bonus for us sometimes. And some of our members have match donations. It's been incredible, and it's also to be able to put out like the joy that I feel every day and get them to understand, get members to understand that they are really helping out a community. I think is my favorite part. My favorite part when I can see the emotion that they're invested as well. That's such a give back for me.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, whether it's nonprofit or for profit, people don't refer the business, they refer the person. And clearly you're passionate about this, and that is absolutely going to make you even more referable. Is there something specific that drew you to this organization as opposed to other nonprofits?
Yes, actually. So, like, quick back history, I had this high in the pie sky idea at one point in time to create a Halloween themed beer festival of all things. And that aspect always has a nonprofit donation involved. And so I had kind of vetted out several nonprofits, local nonprofits, and something about Special Olympics, whether it was the 91 cents of every dollar actually goes back into their programs, plus the volunteer efforts. And then I attended my first summer games as a volunteer. And once I met athletes and just saw like that pure happiness, that was like a giant aura around this event, just pure happiness. I was hooked. So I had stayed a volunteer for a while. And like I said, I had just kind of always stayed connected to people inside the organization. If you ever hear of something, I would love to kind of get involved more. And like, I mean, the skies opened up and rainbows came down and something happened for me. And so that's kind of how I got involved, but I'm so grateful to be part of the organization. It's
Oh,
an amazing company, amazing nonprofit, and the joy I feel every day and to be able to give back is wonderful. Like I could not ask for anything more.
oh, I can understand. Are you familiar with Dick and Rick Hoyt, the triathletes?
Yes, actually, yeah, I am.
I am. So back in my day, I used to race with them on a regular basis. And I would tell you, it
Incredible.
was so inspiring watching them take off, but also at the end of the race, watching them finish. All the athletes would be there to be cheering them on. It was inspiring. It was emotional. And yeah, it makes a difference. It makes a huge difference.
It absolutely does.
One last question for other people that are considering joining BNI, specifically what a nonprofit organization they like to represent. What recommendation would you have for them?
There are a couple key things that I think that I love to put out there. Number one is that ability to visit other chapters is hugely beneficial. Like, I think uh, so Special Olympics, so I represent Special Olympics Northern California. That's my chapter. So that's over 17,000 athletes, but it's all of Northern California. So if you can imagine me to be able to go to other chapters and get that mission out there, like, hey, we are in your community as well. Or to kind of strategically, if I have an event going on San Jose, maybe I carve out time to visit some San Jose chapters and be able to talk to some of those members about events. So that strategically amazing for that ability to visit other chapters. The other thing is that thank you for closed business can also be like it can be linked in with volunteer hours. So like for instance, the state of California kind of the average wage for the state of California for volunteer hours is almost $30 an hour. So people that volunteer, that actually kind of turns into thank you for closed business because you're giving out time that has a monetary value. So I think those two key things are really what I try to get out there as beneficial for nonprofits.
Yeah, and it's a great point about visiting other chapters. That's the one thing in BNI, you're exclusive within that chapter, but you have the opportunity to network outside of that chapter. And that goes beyond just our region. That goes globally. So if somebody's looking to
100
do that, uh,
100%.
Sheena, I want to thank you for taking your time to meet with me today to share your experience about being involved in BNI. My wife, Dawn, and I are so happy to have you involved. We love your energy, we love your spirit, and we hope you all the success in the world. Thank you so
Thanks so much.
much.
I'm so appreciative, you guys. Have a great day.
I hope we will.